Welcome to Leafs Talk, ladies and gentlemen. Another exhilarating night of Toronto Maple Leafs hockey. They go up 1-0. You worry. Hey, listen, I gotta say, I'm actually excited about one thing. Can I tell you what it is?
Sure.
I'm excited that your tone has shifted in our text messages. Like you've abandoned the whole like, I want them to win. Because listen, you were the last guy in my friend group that was clinging to. I'd like to see wins. I don't want the Bruins pick to be high. Now you're just fully embraced Tank Nation.
I don't think you have much of a choice. The Leafs,
yeah, that's true. Like, what are you gonna do? Be mad?
Maybe they'll get hot here and move towards the middle. Like, I don't think I've been given much of a choice. So, yeah,
but I like your enthusiasm in the text messages.
Well,
like,
listen, I was worried when the Leafs started.
Yeah.
I thought the Leafs started awesome for the first 5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, they did.
And the Bolts looked completely asleep. And I was like, oh, the Bolts have been playing like crap. They don't care about this game at all. This maybe is the game that the Leafs snap their losing streak and, they get 2 points that they dearly can't have right now. So I was a little concerned at the start of the game, but then, but boy, oh boy, our Leafs came through for us.
No,
through.
What did I say to you? It was like the best thing that could happen to Tampa in this game is a quick Leafs goal.
Yeah.
Because it woke them up.
Totally.
And the Leafs score. Listen, William Nylander broke in on net twice early in this game, and I thought, oh boy, is this going to be one of those nights where William Nylander just decides I'm playing, I'm going to take over. He makes a beautiful play. He strips. I can't remember who it is that he stripped.
Edmund.
I wrote it. Yeah, no, I don't think it was Edmund. But either way, it doesn't matter. He stripped somebody on the Tampa Bay Lightning. I was paying real close. It was Bjorkstrand.
Oh, okay,
and
almost got it.
Yeah, he strips him. It
was Robertson that stripped Hedman at the end to get his signature Robertson goal. That's why that was fresh in my mind.
But yeah, Nylander makes this nice little feathered pass over to Michelli. Michelli ping. Michelli now 3 games in a row with a goal. I think a 5-game point streak. The guy is playing to have a job in the NHL. I wish him all the luck in the world where he's doing the thing. Like, listen, Leaf fans got tricked, right? Like we watched Mitch take Michelli. The nerds put it out there where they were like, man, so glad this guy's getting an opportunity in Toronto. You and I watched the mixtape. We went, yeah. We're in. And now he's
going to get 80 points. He might.
Yeah, he's collecting a bunch of new highlights for the mixtape. He's turning it on listen, when Michelli's on a team full of guys who aren't trying, he has enough skill to make him look like he's popping out of the group.
This is the ideal Michelli situation right now.
Totally.
Accumulating points on a horrible team. That's what he did with the Phoenix Coyotes. That's what he did. And he didn't play last year when Utah was half decent. They didn't play him. And now he comes here. He doesn't play when they're like trying to win. And now
can I give you a great cross-sport reference?
Oh my God. I love these.
This is a deep cut, but for the ball knowers,
I'll see how I'll do here.
Michelli is Mike Jamesing right now.
Oh, that's even too deep for me.
Undersized guard. You don't remember the Mike James season with the Toronto Raptors?
Kinda.
Yeah, undersized guard, filled the stat sheet with points because he was allowed to shoot as much as possible because they were what. And he ends up going like to leave the Raptors. And guess what he does? Nothing with any other team because he's Mike James. And it's and Bill Simmons calls it the good stats, bad team guy.
Yeah, that's what Michelli is.
That's what Michelli's doing right now. So, hey, good luck next season, wherever you end up and your fan base. I can't wait to see the tweets from some fans going like, I'm glad we're giving this guy a shot.
With the highlight reels of this year's goals.
Yeah, his actual points per game on the Maple Leafs were so bad. Then some of the mixtape, and you go, enjoy. He will not pass the Sullinger test.
I saw somebody send a tweet. I don't know. I wish I give them credit, but it was just like a Gretzky gif, and it's like Michelli the second we started tanking.
Yeah.
It's just like,
100%.
He's just on fire.
He's turning it up.
I will say, there's been a lot of talk about about what the Leafs are last in the league in and all these categories. They are first in the league in something, I think, this year, and it's getting booed off the ice. I think they lead the league. They got to be number 1 in the league and getting booed off their home ice. I thought
some stats aren't deserved, some stats
they've earned out.
Some stats, the underlying numbers indicate that you shouldn't be that team. The Leafs have earned that. So that's an eye test and analytics darling right there.
I will say though, like I was surprised to hear it at the end because I thought like the scariest thing that the Toronto Maple Leafs can have here is extreme apathy, and I thought I saw a lot of empty seats in the lower bowl throughout the whole game tonight. But yeah, the people that stuck around at the end of a 5-1 game got their little booing there for the last minute or so. But it's just not a lot of just this franchise, buddy. And we're going to get into the future stuff. We're going to talk about the trade deadline here in a second, clearly, because there's not a ton to talk about off this game, obviously. We're in a dangerous spot, bud. It's in a really, like it's a real crossroads here of what's about to happen. And it feels like there's a real extreme apathy setting in.
Man, I've been talking about this on my show now for over a year.
Yeah.
But
now they're bad.
Yeah, exactly. But just the idea that there's man, you and I have discussed how there is a growing disconnect with a large portion of the hardcores.
Yeah.
Like you look at the seats tonight and you're always going to have people in the building who are just excited to be at a Leafs game, right?
Of course, man.
It's something
still a huge event for people.
For 100%. And if you're going there and you just want to, and I don't know what just happened to our screen, but it just went all wonky. Are we still on the air, boys, producers? Did that change for anybody other than me?
It changed for me too.
Okay.
But I'm not sure if we're good.
Okay. Luke says, weird. Yep, we're good. All right. Anyways, sorry. That's
back to our regular schedule of programming.
Yeah. Just our entire screens just changed into tiny little boxes. Black. So it was a little bit of a throw off.
Yeah.
Anyways, if you want to go to the game, like I saw when Robertson scored, they flashed to the crowd and like there's a couple people just like jumping up and down, high-fiving, doing their thing. I saw people super excited when Robertson drew that close to a penalty shot, but it hits the puck first, whatever. Yeah, like listen, there's always going to be some of those people. Like you're always going to be able to find a shot of some fans being excited, but
I'm just here to root on my Leafs and I don't care. It's just like there's that group of people out there. And I would kill to be one of those people. Truly.
Totally. Listen, except for we're not. We've been diehards our whole lives. We've made careers out of sports, and I feel as though we're pretty connected to a lot of people in our lives who feel this right now, which is like the frustration level is mirroring what I felt during the first few years out of the salary cap, where the Leafs came back and they kept doing we're not tanking, we're still trying to make playoffs, just barely missing. Their top prospect at one point was Yuri Talutsi. It's like, it was a bit of a dark age, but you at least had the thought hey, eventually are they going to tank? Eventually are they going to tank? And God, it was a very long time for it to actually come around.
Yeah.
But those years, there was a lot of fan apathy and a lot of fan frustration. Now I think it's reached a different level, even more so than then. At least there was different GMs that came in and there was a little bit of, God, it was so bleak, but when they made the Dion trade, everyone was so excited because
Berkey came in here swinging, buddy.
Yeah,
Dion trade, the Phil Kessel thing that was way too soon, all the different stuff that happened. But at least there was some excitement at that point.
Yeah, but also it was an honest ticket. Burke still did go get guys who worked their asses off.
For sure.
And that's the one thing that I think has remained a disconnect is front offices, and hockey's changing, right? It's not the same sport. There's not going to be Colton Orrs and Fraser McLaren's on rosters. You're not going to have Bash Brothers anymore. Those guys are kind of bygone era, right? How many tough guys are in the league right now? 6?
One of them just got traded to Carolina, which is
for a 7th round pick, so it's not going to be the same. The game is changing. The game is shifting, but I don't think that the upper management has a real understanding of what fans want. I think they think it's playoffs, but it's the market can snuff out a fraud and they don't want a playoff team. They want a contender. We just went through a window where we thought that was going to happen. And that was what was so crushing about all this. And you watch this team right now and I see all those empty seats and I see the people who will still show up and go have their fun game. But I can also tell you the secondary ticket market right now is a disaster. And my guess is that to start next season, they're going to get a rude awakening here if they just try to staple some pieces together to Austin Matthews and bring in a new coach and don't change the general manager, try to tell people that it's a retool, try to tell people about injuries or off year, blah, blah, blah. Everybody knows where the writing is on the wall. And that's why the deadline was such a crusher for so many people. You and I were both in the camp of trade as many pieces as you can. I set the over under at 4.5. And they went under and they landed 3. So I guess this is kind of a good place. Cause what else do you want to talk about with this game? Before we move to deadline stuff.
No, I think Nikita Kucherov is the best power play player I've ever seen in my life.
Yeah. I actually have a note where it's There's Ovechkin, and he has his office.
Yeah.
And Kucherov is literally the opposite of that. He's the yin to the yang, the setup man, where it just feels like when he's on the half
But he can
wall,
fire it too, right? Like he's just got that. You have never have any idea what he's going to do. He's unbelievable to watch. It's a real pleasure. Balance. 6 straight 100-point seasons for him.
Yep.
Underrated. I actually think he's underrated. Like
I saw a clip of the Chicklets guys put that out there. Like,
did?
About a month ago or so, and they were like, "Oh, he's not underrated," but I actually agree with that in terms of like he's sort of in McDavid's shadow, he's sort of in McKinnon's shadow.
He lights it up every single year, man. He's unbelievable.
Yeah,
he's just not as flashy as those guys. Like he's not as fast skater. He's not like doesn't have breathtaking speed. It's just pure production. So smarts.
Yeah, I'm not sure I will ever see a player run the half wall as well as Nikita Kucherov does on a power play, where it's like when he has the puck on his stick, everyone's totally off balance. The passes that he can make, the plays towards the net he can make, the way he snaps it, the way he moves too, which is just like we can see it in our tiny little box.
You just go. So if you want to go up there and click that baby, you can get back to full.
Oh, I can get back to full.
Give it a try. Okay. Give it a try.
Oh yeah, I got it. We're back. All right, we're back.
You were doing little screen that whole time.
Oh yeah, I didn't know.
You're insane, dude.
Buddy, I was frozen. The screen changed on me. I'm an old man. I don't know what happens. Technology stuff happens. I freeze up, brother. You know me. I'm a unplug guy. That's what I thought the solution was going to have to be here. Anyway, just the way that he moves, the way that he sees the ice, like, God, he's just a brilliant player. Anyways, I don't really have anything else on this game. So let's get into trade deadline. I was crushed, man. I'm sure I'll tell you this. This is the way I'll set you up for this. I was actually really glad we didn't have a show yesterday, like that we didn't do an emergency podcast, because I think if I would have come on here in the moment, in the heat of it, like I would have looked like a bit of a clown, because I was angry, man. Like I was pissed off when Scott Lawton, when that one came through and they were like, it's a 3rd round pick, conditional second, which by the way, the Kings, they blew a lead tonight. And to the Montreal Canadiens,
they suck.
They've got fewer points than the Leafs. Like
they suck. Bad.
They suck. Yeah. The idea that they're going to make the playoffs is pretty far-fetched. So a 3rd round pick for Lawton comes in, and then
that whole division sucks, so they could make it.
Sure, I guess if you want to if you want to pin your hopes to it, but like they're not going anywhere. Like they just fired their coach, and they're not even getting a dead coach bounce. Like they're in tough. Lawton scored, by the way, guy that they gave up a 3rd round pick for.
Nice.
Yeah,
it's amazing what you can do without Yarncroc and Lorentz on your wings.
Yeah, like oh man, to see the Leafs get back
King's
a 1st
highlight.
for Waugh and a 5th. Nothing in this year's draft, right? Like I think the earliest pick they got in this year's draft is the 3rd, right? From the Kings.
Yep.
So it's a 3rd and a 4th this year. That's the only things that you're getting in the immediate future. Those things have like a 5% chance at hitting on an NHL player. I think that's the number. So and that's like down the line. That's not helping you anytime soon. To see what were underwhelming prices go for Bobby McMahon, for Scott Lawton, to feel like, you have to wonder if Tree Living did wait too long on those deals. Like if he could have consummated them earlier, given some of the other prices that went for guys like Nick Dowd, I think was kind of the number 1 dude who you circled. And then even like, I'm excited for Nazem Kadri, where he's going to Colorado, and I'm pumped for him, but like he's under contract, and so is Nick Waugh, and the Leafs own that pick next year for what's going to be the best team in hockey for the next 2 years. Like, it's basically
how about the Calgary Flames getting more for Kadri when he's like in his mid-30s, and Dubas did it when he's like in his mid-20s?
Yeah,
that's a tough one. Tough pill to swallow on that.
Yeah, just all of it. Like to me, they didn't sell enough guys. They didn't get back enough assets. And just like in terms of looking at the future, a deadline like that makes me feel way more like the Leafs are going towards retool than rebuild.
It all feels so. No, there's no plan.
Yeah.
No, nobody has any idea what anything.
Well, I heard poor Tree on your show. Kipper asked the right question.
Grinded him to dust.
Hammered him. Good job by Kipper, man. Full 10 toes down, hammered him. And Tree was like, "We'll have a plan." I was like, "Cool. You'll have one."
He's in over his head.
Yeah.
Like he's completely overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And like I can't. You're supposed to be one of the main sellers at the deadline. And you have these guys that, supposed to have some value. Bobby McMahon's decent guy, good deadline guy. Same with Lawton. You get the 1st for Nick Waugh. You have Oliver Ekman-Larsson, who you sat out of the lineup to trade, and then you don't end up trading them. Like, why are those trades happening at why are they coming in on my X feed at 3:20 p.m. Eastern? Like, why is this the last minute man here? Like, why? It all just feels like they waited and waited and waited, and then they finally called the Squids and were like, we'll take that. We'll take what you're getting. And then they'll call the Kings. We'll take it. We'll take it. We'll take it. I don't know how you perceive it any other way other than that. Like, for me, there's just like, it just feels rushed. It feels like they had no plan. In their heart of hearts, they were going to come back from the break and they thought they were going to get hot. Like they spent the whole break talking about how they're going to get hot, and they thought they went into the break with the 3 fake wins, blah, blah, blah. It all feels papered together and pieced together, and it just doesn't feel like I have any hope in them making any of the correct decisions.
So
it's terrifying. I'm actually really horrified at what's like, if they keep everybody around, which, Myrtle's been talking about on your show, that like seems like a real possibility.
Oh, it's not just Myrtle. Like I said, I've asked a bunch of different people, and they've said that Tree Living is a very realistic shot to get another crack. They're going to do a canvas job, I'm sure. Like, they're going to look around the league and they're going to send out some feelers. But if let's just play this out for fun. If you are an executive, like a top tier executive,
yeah,
why would you want to leave to come to Toronto now when you don't really have anything at your disposal to turn this thing around, right? Like,
I think it's still the Leafs. I think that's it. The only thing is that, like, every guy that's wrote in here, bud, over our whole lives, the Burkies of the world, and they're bringing Shanahan and Lou, and it's all the guys that they brought in over our life. Like Nonis had some pedigree when they brought him in. Like, just all the guys that have wrote in here to try to save the Leafs. They've all been in bad situations. Like, you can come in here and
not
sell
like this.
What? I mean,
no, not like this, man. I'm sorry. Those guys had draft picks. They had things in the cupboard. They were able to pick. Here's the difference.
The
direction with the Leafs.
It's still the Leafs for the gentleman. I don't think the players feel like that anymore, but I still think executives feel like that.
Players definitely don't. I've asked a bunch of different people, like, how do they feel about Toronto? And it's like, yeah, why would you want to go there right now? No, in terms of the executive thing, though, like, to push back on that a little bit.
Yep.
I do believe what you're saying is true, that it's like still the mecca job, right? Like, if you win here, it matters more for any executive. It's the ultimate challenge to be able to get it done. But you know what these guys don't like? They don't like coming into situations where they have mandates. And so if the Maple Leafs are telling you, like, we want to be back in the playoffs next year, and you're a smart executive and you're like, yeah, no, I don't think that's the route. Why would you take that job? Because that's the way that it's kind of being communicated right now, right? I
don't think it's being communicated at all. That's the problem.
Okay. Either way, I'm just saying the murkiness in terms of what your abilities are as a top executive coming in here, that's very clear. And if you are coming in, you don't have your draft picks. Like, this is not just this draft. This is the following year too. Like, Toronto now with it's a little different because of the picks that they brought in. But I've mentioned this over and over again. They're missing 4 of their top 8 picks in the next 2 drafts, including 2 first-round picks potentially. Like, it's an ugly, ugly, ugly situation. And if you're a new GM and you're coming in here and you've got to deal with, like, potentially Austin Matthews, and you've got to potentially deal with Nylander, and you're being told, like, nope, those guys are here to stay, like, figure it out around them. I just don't think it's as attractive as, you're thinking in terms of just, hey, it's Toronto. Anybody would want to come here. Hey, offer them more money. Like, I'm not convinced of that. We'll see.
That's fair. Like, I mean, you're making good points, but I think if they come in here and they're like, if I'm going to do the rebuild, I think there's a lot of guys that would want to come in here and do that.
Sure.
That have the ability to trade Austin Matthews or trade William Nylander or trade Matthew Nyes or whatever you're going to do to put together first-round picks to start to build towards being a good team again. I think that'd be an incredibly attractive proposition for a lot of general managers. First of all, because it's job security, because you get to be here for a few years doing that. And second of all, if you turn the Leafs around and turn them into a good team that plays a certain way that the fan base loves, then you're a hero. Like, I think that part of it could be incredibly attractive. But if you're right, like, if they're, for example, everybody's throwing Doug Armstrong out there. It's the sexy name. I don't know if it's necessarily possible, but he's going to come in here as the president of hockey ops, potentially, if that was going to be the move. Like, there's just simply no way he's coming in here with anybody telling him what they have to do. Like, he's coming in here being like, I have full hockey autonomy. I am Doug Armstrong, right? Or any other big hockey name is going to feel the exact same way. So to your point, which is a good one, if there's a mandate, it's a much harder job. But if there's no mandate, it's still the Leafs and guys would want to do it. For sure.
I think publicly they'll communicate like there's no mandate.
Yeah.
I think
But I mean, they could never publicly communicate that there's a mandate.
Yes.
Because then the whole the fan base would melt down. You can't ever publicly communicate that.
I'm just telling you, the whispers are there's a mandate. Like that they want to get, they don't want to go into the dark ages for 5 years. They don't want to slow rebuild this thing. Like, I don't think that they're really entertaining. Like, again, the biggest question in the offseason is obviously, like we've all talked about, people get pissed off, but it's true, is you've got to have a conversation with Matthews about what his future is.
Mm-hmm.
You've probably got to do the same thing with Nylander in terms of, hey, what's up? If you're the new exec coming in.
Yeah.
But I also don't think that executives usually on new jobs are thinking, hey, you know what's really interesting for me is sit down with Austin Matthews and be the guy who potentially has to deal this guy. Like, you're probably still thinking, yeah, I'm going to try to re-sign him and try to win around him and try to build some pieces. And I just don't see the pathway with the timeline with this guy. Like, again, they're playing Calle Yarncroke tonight, right? He's getting still minutes.
It's amazing, buddy, that we're sitting here and we're going to talk about Calle Yarncroke playing all 4 years of that contract.
Yeah.
It's remarkable. Like,
but he's playing it, and
why is he playing?
I
wave him. Wave him.
Listen, I'm with you, buddy.
Call up Hames. Like, call up the Bull Gruel. Like, do it.
Gruel,
buddy, it's Gruel time. Let's eat some Gruel, bro. Like, anybody.
Listen, I'm with you on that. Like, I'm not going to defend playing Calle Yarncroke, but all I'm saying is that you've got so little intrigue down at the Marlies level that for them, they're like, well, we might as well play Calle Yarncroke. You know, like, it's just not even.
But I don't think I think that's still a coach that thinks he's trying to win.
Well,
you see his press conference this morning, bud?
Yeah. I think there's a disconnect. And I think that for whatever first of all, let me just say this. I don't want him to get fired. Like, I want him to stay the rest of the season because he represents the best stance at tank. They're totally checked out on him.
Couldn't agree
and
more.
Guys don't feel like they have anything to prove to Berube.
No.
And as soon as you put Lalonde in there and you make it seem like, oh, that maybe there's something to prove, guys might start skating a little harder. Guys might start playing a little bit better. Like the fringe guys, like the Dakota Joshuas or the Michellis, which you're already seeing because he's got no contract. But all of a sudden you turn that into the Robertsons, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, you don't want that.
I want the checked out coach the entire time. Where the boys hate him. They don't want to play. And guess what? You know what else Berube is really good at so far with this team is, like, nobody's given him like good return on what their deal is this season. Like, I'm not saying I fully blame Berube. I've pushed back to that like the entire season, that I think the issues are a lot deeper here. And if you just think it's the coach, that's a problem.
Of course.
But in terms of jobs that have lasted for a full season like this, where you can't point to a single guy other than Oliver freaking Ekman-Larsson and say, wow, this was a really positive story this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's embarrassing. Like, it's the full class failed under this guy. So keep him around, because honestly, they look like a team that's going to win 2 more games. Like, that's what they've done. They've won 2 games in regulation in like their last 20. I don't think that's getting any better.
They've lost 7 in a row after losing like in their last 16 games. I think they've had a 6-game losing. No, maybe. Yeah, that's right. They had a 6-game losing streak and a 7-game losing streak in their last 16 games. That's pretty amazing. That's
incredible.
That's really hard to do. And you're right. Like, but he's just going to keep playing Calle Yarncroke and Max Domi. And like, he's just going to keep, this is just going to be the lineup, and they're just going to keep playing him if Berube is the coach.
Yeah.
Because there's no way he's going to be like, okay, call up the Marlies, call up the race car driver, call them all up. But he's not going to do it. So,
yeah. So anyway, to get back to the deadline, here's like, I'm going to rank in order kind of the things that really piss me off. Or you want to say something else?
Well, yeah, just the thing that, I mean, I guess if you're going to rank, maybe this will be in there, but coming out of this deadline without a pick in the first or second round this season is a massive failure to me. That's the number one thing. That's what I was going into this deadline being like, whether it's between Waugh, Lawton, McMahon, Ulrich, Larsson, whoever it is, you got to come away with a first or second in this draft. And I thought that was the Ulrich Larsson pick would have been the one this year, because you saw guys that are around his production and sort of age or whatever. Like, that Falk thing is a perfect parallel to him. Maybe he asked too much. Maybe teams balked. I don't know what happened. Maybe he waited too long. I'm not sure what happened, but I'm pretty devastated that they didn't get a first round pick for him and they didn't pull the trigger on something.
So I think that no move clauses played a pretty heavy role in this
16
deadline.
Team.
Yeah, for OEL it was, right?
Yeah.
And then you include the Leafs, and that's 17 teams, right? Yeah. So you didn't have a huge group to deal with. And like, You know, it's probably not on his no trade, like the Florida Panthers who are not in it, right? So I think that there were probably limited teams, but this is also where like the Leafs have done this year over year where they play the respect card, where they have so much respect for the guys and they want to honor the thing. This has been Morgan Riley. This has been Mitch Marner. Like, go on down the line. They're never forceful with anybody. And still they sat this guy out and he seemed annoyed by it. And I know he's got a wife that's, due
extremely pregnant
any week now, but it certainly didn't feel like there was like any public pressure on this guy to go. And now he's back and it's like, all right, he's probably getting dealt in the offseason. Like it's likely going to happen. And maybe if it doesn't, maybe if they just try to run this thing back and do the retool thing, like, again, which I hate the idea of. So maybe he's here and you get less back the following year because I don't think they're going to be a good hockey team. So to me, there's a few things, and I'll start with this. One is, okay, here's the excuses. Let me get the excuses out of the way. No move clauses. And number two is when you always go like, it takes two teams to make a deal. What I would say is, to your point about things coming in last minute, it's hard to ignore that Tree Living got pinched at the very end of last year's deadline. And granted, prices were high, but that he waited till the 11th hour and he ended up having to really overpay. And that the two pending free agents that he had, both guys that they've known for quite some time, like this whole McMahon, will they, won't they, back and forth contract BS, I think cost them. And if they had moved him earlier, they probably could have gotten more. Like they could have jumped the market rather than wait until it was set and everybody had pieces and then they're kind of just dumping him.
Yeah.
He ends up with Seattle. We didn't hear Seattle with McMahon ever. No. We never heard Lawton with them ever. Like those two guys went deadline time for cheap prices. Yeah. So the idea that they waited to hope teams would get desperate sort of backfired and it worked against them last year. So it's difficult for me to believe. Bad
strategy.
Yeah. Just I'm hard pressed to believe that it wasn't that way in both those deadlines. Two is just, I don't know how you don't find some creative ways to do salary retention. And like we've talked about this before because the Raw trade happened and right after or right before that, there was the Edmonton trade, right?
Yeah.
Where they get off the Mangiapane contract and the other team takes it. It's like Toronto had 2 salary retention slots. And I don't think that was as big of a concern.
2 or 3?
Maybe 3. I thought it was
3.
2.
No, it's 3 slots and they didn't use any of them.
They didn't use any of them. They didn't retain any salary. They didn't bring anybody back. There was no creative move where like they took on some bad money to make sure somebody got moved out to get back.
There were panic dumps. Yeah. That's what it was.
They didn't get a prospect. They got no skater back, like no person that you can sell as, hey, we're going to watch this guy for the slog 18 games left in the regular season. It was 3 retention slots. You're right. I just view this as like a cataclysmic failure. And then the way that Tree Living came out and the way that he was speaking to the media, it's like, he's doing the whole, it's my fault and I take responsibility. And you're like, yeah, man.
We know.
Yeah. Everybody's aware.
It's like, oh, you're not telling us anything we don't know, fella. We all know.
But also, I actually want him coming out of that being like, we've had a plan and we've been sticking to it now. And instead, it was reports that those 3 games mattered to them, that they actually coveted those 3 wins against, again, it should be stated, they didn't beat the Tampa Bay Lightning and they didn't beat the Colorado Avalanche.
Flames, Canucks, and no-hitter Oilers.
Yeah.
Who suck,
who are a bad hockey team and let in 6 goals every night anyways. Yeah. And they took that sample size and reportedly it was met with, we could do something here. Like it's been a bad coaching hire. It's been bad that they kept them for the amount of the time that they did this season, waited too long at the deadline, didn't do anything creative, didn't get a prospect, didn't get enough pick capital back, like didn't move out enough bodies. I just don't even know how you could possibly look at this deadline and say anything other than they absolutely blew it. And they probably, like, we'll see what ends up happening in this offseason, whether it's Tree or somebody else, but they probably made the job harder for whoever is coming in the door next year.
Totally. And I mean, you didn't even mention the optics of the Lawton thing.
Yeah. Where that's the worst thing. We talked about forever amongst Leaf fans.
365 days later, you trade him for a conditional third after trading one of your 4 good prospects plus a 1st-round pick for him in also like a sort of panic time move, like just after noon or 1 o'clock on the deadline day.
Yeah.
It's bad, man. It's hard to imagine somebody doing a worse job over a year.
So Dubas had the panic dump of Marleau, which ended up turning into Jarvis. And we've talked about that forever and ever and ever. You better hope that that Flyers pick next year doesn't turn out to be the next stud Flyer, because that is going to become Tree Living's version of the Jarvis trade, where it's like all we talk about is Can you
What about
believe
the
we got
Bruins?
No, of course that. I'm just saying, like, at least with Carlo, there's another year of him and he's still here. And it's like, who knows, right? I'm just saying with Lawton, the result is finished. Like, it's concluded. There's no other
The story
thing
has
to
been
know.
written.
The story's written.
Yeah.
And the story that has been written is some guy might end up being picked 12th overall next year by the Philadelphia Flyers. And that cost you a year of Scott Lawton where you never even tried to play him up the lineup or put him in a different situation. A guy who was heart and soul, one of the most popular Leafs over the last 5 years, a guy who was loved in the dressing room, a perfect culture piece, a guy that obviously should have been played to the extent where he was dying to take a hometown discount to stay with this hockey team.
Yeah.
And instead it got to a point where everyone around him, including other people that have known him from this area, are like, yeah, but he doesn't know what his role would be. So why would he want a contract extension before he knows that?
Sad.
So sad.
Sad, bud. It's a sad situation. It just feels like such a fumble, man. And it's just, now it's all the clips of like reminiscing about the early times of the Leafs, like are floating through the timeline now. And it's like, what are we even looking back on? Like
2 playoff wins.
They won. It's like, I saw the clip of them, the winning, like the Tavares, they caught lightning in a bottle.
How hard they celebrated that.
The bench reaction is like, in retrospect.
Yeah, I know.
Maybe one of the most embarrassing things of all time.
Dubas
like,
losing his mind
but
up top.
Keefe is cup celebration.
Yeah, I know. Keefe full, like grabbing guys, fist pumping,
like
dudes on the ice losing their minds. Again, Samsonov flies out of the net like they won the cup.
I know, buddy. It's crazy. Anyways, we don't need to relitigate that. So the last time I think I sent you this tweet, or maybe I didn't. Kevin Papetti, he set the Toronto lineup the last time they lost 7 in a row. You want to name some dudes?
I'm gonna guess that was like Byron Freys times.
Okay, the first line that night was James Van Riemsdyk, Tyler Bozak, Phil Kessel.
Yeah.
Lupul.
Yeah.
Greg McKegg.
Yeah.
And David Booth.
Yeah. David Booth. I had hopes for Booth.
I liked Booth. I had some Booth conversations with some friends. Let's just say maybe
I think a lot of people were in on Booth.
Richard Panik, right?
Yeah.
Leo Komarov.
Yeah.
And Brendan Cozen. Brendan Cozen.
Yeah. Cozen.
And then it's
season superstar.
Lindstrom.
Yeah.
I don't even remember Lindstrom. What's the first name on Lindstrom? I actually don't remember this. I watched all these games. Carrick and Bailey.
I don't know who Bailey's first name is.
I know, man.
But I do know that Bailey. I'm
Casey Bailey, right? Yeah, thanks, Christian. He played on the 4th line of the worst Leafs team ever. I thought he was a star.
Yeah, that's tough.
And then the decor that night.
Yeah.
Eric Brewer, Dion Phaneuf, top pair.
Yeah.
Jake Gardner, Morgan Riley.
Yeah.
Riley, still here. Let set the man free. And the bottom pair is Andrew McWilliam and Timmy Erickson.
Buddy, I think that I'm about as good with Leafs history and knowing guys as anybody. Like I put myself up. Like if it was Leafs trivia night, I think I would.
We do well.
I feel pretty confident.
Yeah.
I don't know who either of those defensemen are.
Andrew McWilliam played I think 15 games maybe ever. And I checked his hockey DB page, and he's still playing in Austria, crushing it.
Nice.
So good for him.
I don't know that name, and I don't know that Erickson.
Timmy Erickson. He played in the NHL. He probably played like 400 or 500 games, or maybe not that many. Less than that.
Yeah, in the NHL, he played 400 games.
He played a lot. Yeah, Tim Erickson was the guy.
I'm blanking on him entirely.
Let me see how many games. What do you think the number is for Tim Erickson hockey games played in the NHL? See how far off I was.
I think it's going to be maybe 200.
It was 93.
Yeah, I was going to say,
400 games.
I was like,
almost got it.
Yeah, like that was an absurd guess. I was like, I don't know any guy who's got 400 games.
You know who I got mixed up with in my mind?
Yeah.
Who also played on the Leafs and like sucked at the end was Tim Gleason. I got him mixed up.
Yeah, that's very different.
Yeah,
but all right.
Yeah.
400 games, Tim Erickson. He's sitting here, some family member maybe watching the show is like, we wish. We wish.
And he's also still playing.
Sure.
In the Swedish league. And the goaltending pairing that night was, of course, Reimer and Bernier.
Yeah.
So,
anyway. All right.
Unbelievable.
Bummer. Just a bummer. I'm going to try to get into know a little bit better on Monday's show in terms of anything they could have missed or anything we now know further. But yeah, my God, as of the last, like this deadline again, here's the worst part about it too, is like you watch this season, the way that was going, it was just like, it's over. Like, that's why I was cheering for the tank, is so that they would have a strip down. And sort of the last thing you had to hold on to was the deadline and the idea that the Leafs are going to be able to do something exciting.
And that's gone.
And then they just
gone.
totally
all hope
flopped.
is gone.
Yeah,
it's just the whole season total disaster. Yeah,
from a team that's going to be the best team in hockey next year, and a second and a third, and you're like, cool, thanks. Yeah, and I don't care about the fourth and fifths that got attached to that either. Like, I just don't.
No.
So anyway, I'm done.
Next game, weird. Tuesday against the Habs.
Yeah.
When's the last time the Leafs played a non-Saturday night game against the Habs?
Don't know.
It's very weird. They're just going to go to that building, quit boy Leafs.
Hope
buzz
so.
In, like the Montreal Canadiens, big comeback win. They're going to get embarrassed by their longtime franchise, their longtime rival franchise.
Sure.
100%. They're going to get buried.
Again, apathy is here. Apathy time is totally here.
Still sucks getting filled by the Habs.
Sure. I don't care. I hope it happens.
Oh, one last thing. I look at this hat. If you're watching on YouTube, got this today. Look at the side.
Beautiful.
Buddy, this logo, that 50th anniversary thing, I'm going to get shirts. I'm going to get hats. I'm going to get jerseys. Buddy.
At the 35-minute mark, we're just like, look at my hat talk
look at this
time.
hat. Buddy, look at this hat. It's so good. They nailed it. They nailed it.
Thank God for the Blue Jays, man. Thank God.
Yes.
Thank God. That's all I got to say. We're less than a month away from Toronto Blue Jays baseball. All right. Subscribe to this podcast. Leave 5 stars. Reach out anytime at JD Bunkis, at Sam McKee on Twitter and Instagram. We'll see you Tuesday night against the Habs.